Joining us now is the executive director of Speech First, an organization fighting censorship on college campuses, Cherise Trump. Cherise, what do you think the Chinese Communist Party and its surrogates are up to, seeking to purchase American military academies?
I think it's pretty clear. The Chinese Communist Party has not they've been pretty obvious, let's say, in the fact that they like to co-opt our systems and our institutions in order to train themselves to take technology and information to use in their own country and to their own benefit. So it's not a surprise that now they're targeting military academies. When the Chinese military actually reformed itself a few years ago, they actually did copy a lot of the various aspects of the U.S. military because they saw the amount of success that led us to, especially when it came to things like logistics and leadership. So this is no surprise that the Chinese Communist Party is trying to figure out the recipe and the science behind our great leadership in our military, and this is one way that they're going to do it.
Okay, Hunter Biden is threatening to sue over that infamous laptop. Is this one of those cases of be careful what you wish for?
It possibly could be. My understanding of this situation is that Hunter Biden is most likely doing this to attempt to slow the roll of release of information that is in that laptop from being released. They're going to try to create as much distrust as possible amongst the public of what information does come out of the laptop. So by slowing the information that's going to be disseminated, in addition to making it somewhat questionable, will help the Biden administration in this case.
All right, now you wrote an article. It's titled, "Is Europe Doomed to Repeat History and Drag America Down with Them?" Give us a synopsis of that article, Cherise.
Yeah, well, at the Davos World Economic Forum, I thought it was really interesting that all of the European political elite decided to talk about how the United States needs more hate speech laws and misinformation laws. So something I looked deeper into was European current constitutions and statement of rights. And every single Western European country, and as well as Canada, includes exceptions in their constitutions for their free speech clause, compared to the United States, which says that Congress shall make no law. Historically, we have a much better track record with freedom. Europe does not. I don't think we should be looking to them for advice on, various speech laws in this country, especially when we have a long-standing precedent in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, we left them to get freedom. Cherise, this is Greg Stevens. Former President Donald Trump had a strong reaction to gender ideology and sex change surgery for children. Listen to this.
I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states.
Outlawing transgender ideology with kids at every level. Your reaction?
I think this is a great move. We won't really know what he means by outlaw or gender transition techniques or methods until we actually see what he means written down and the language that is being used. But I think it's a great step in the right direction because, look, puberty blockers are not FDA approved for gender dysphoria, and a lot of these treatments aren't. These are all experimental treatments. We actually don't know the real long-term situations that are going to come up when these kids grow up and they say that, oh, never mind, I'm not confused anymore, and now I want to go back. There's a lot going on here, and we're just basically using experimental procedures on children. So this is, I think, a step in the right direction.
Let's talk about Speech First, your organization. What are your goals for that organization?
Yeah, well, we defend students' free speech rights on campuses by actually suing universities that violate them. So we just launched a lawsuit at the beginning of January against Oklahoma State University, where we sued them on their bias reporting system, their harassment policy, and their computer use policy, all of which target students' constitutionally protected speech. Keep in mind, this is a public university, so they are very much beholden to the First Amendment. So that is something that, when you look at their policies, they specifically say that students can actually be accused of bias and reported to the campus administrators for not using someone's pronouns, for using any language that can be considered weighted in one way or another, like just having a basic opinion on a political issue. So this is something students, they're self-censoring all over campus, and we need to stop the universities in their tracks.
We do need to stop it. Thank you for doing that. We've got about a minute here. Congressional Republicans passed the Pandemic is Over Act, which Democrats voted against. Why don't Democrats want the pandemic to be over?
I mean, I think they've made this pretty clear. The more they can encourage fear amongst the populace and the more that they can make people fear for their lives, the more control and power they will have to control everything that we're doing, telling us what to, what kind of vaccines we should be taking, what kind of things we should, what behaviors we should be following through with. So this is something that the Democratic Party has made pretty clear. They're not that different in this case from a despotic regime.
Cherise, you're absolutely correct. Fear. They want to keep fear alive. That's how they gain power. Cherise Trump, thank you so much for what you're doing and for the lawsuits on college campuses and watching out for American students everywhere they are. Thank you for being with us today.
Always happy to.
Mike?